In today's video, I'd like to show you just how quickly bees can build up. Here's January 21st, about a month of winter left, and here's March 25th. Look at how many bees we've got now. If you're a regular on my channel, you know I'm constantly talking about this observation beehive. I'm so in love with this thing because it's the coolest conversation piece to have in your house, but it tells you so much about what's going on in the world of bees. Without opening up a hive on a cold, rainy day, you can just take a peek through the glass and see what they're up to and get a real good feel about what's going on in the rest of the bee yard. So here I couldn't resist but just taking a look, and I didn't even realize I passed the queen. I don't know if you can spot her here in the little red circle. But they are hard at work. They've been building up so good. And here's a queen cell that the bees are taking care of. So that means they're ready to swarm. And little did I know, these bees were actually planning on swarming the very day that I took this video. And as far as the way I handle my observation beehive, I never go in it. I never open it for anything. I don't harvest honey. I don't move frames around. I just let the bees come and go as they please and do what they want, because that's going to give me the most accurate picture of what it is they're doing in the wild. So I just let them do their thing. And today they did their thing. In the red circle, that's the window where I have the observation beehive, and they swarmed out, and look where they landed. They decided to land on my garden T-post. I thought for sure they were going to land on one of the bushes or tree branches that they could easily access, but nope. I think they wanted to make it challenging for me to catch them today, so they decided to gather up on the T-post, and I kind of scratched my head for a little while wondering, well, what's the best way to get them off? What would you do? I have a bee vacuum. I thought about using my bee vacuum, so I just did what I always do. I got out my trusty tarp. A tarp is the best thing in the world for retrieving swarms off of branches or fences or tree limbs. So I always spread out my tarp. And then make sure you've got your swarm traps ready. So I've got a swarm trap and I've got my tool bag. I only keep a handful of my essential tools. Now right here what I'm doing is I'm putting a little bit of lemongrass oil, just a dab right on the front entrance of this swarm trap. They love the smell of lemongrass oil. And this is a feed scoop that I use to feed my dogs with. And boy, I love this. This is my new favorite beekeeping tool. It's got a squared edge, and this thing works like magic getting them off of tree trunks or T-posts. And so that's all I did, was just gently position it underneath the swarm and work it up. And it got those bees off of there really easy. They didn't get too excited. They didn't get angry. I just gently moved it up and got a nice scoop of bees and put them right in front of the entrance of that swarm trap, and they just started to march right in. Now some of them do take to the air, but once you dump a pile of bees in front of a hive, they usually start going in, and it only takes them a few minutes to figure it out. Now you see them fanning here. They're fanning, and they're telling the other bees to come on down and check this out. We think we might have found a new place to live. And then they start moving down the post. Now I still had to keep working them off here, but if you're going to use the feed scoop method, it really, really works good. I highly recommend this. Add this to your beekeeping tool bag, and that's all you do is just wiggle it back and forth. You don't want to scrape them real hard. You just gently move it up, wiggling those bees in there, and they just fall right in, no problem. And in they go. Look how easy that was. Dump them right in front of the hive. Now you can keep scooping as much as you need to. I probably scooped maybe 5 scoops before this happened. Once the majority is in front of the hive, the rest of them come down off the T-post. So you don't have to worry about getting every single bee off the T-post. That was kind of what I was worrying about, is how am I going to get all these bees off of here? And that's what it is. It's kind of a majority rules thing with the bees. So once you get them mostly off, they all start to follow them. And make sure you take a quick selfie. Now here's where they're going to live permanently. I left them in the swarm trap, and I placed them directly in front of the hive that they're going to live in as their forever home, or at least until next spring if they throw a swarm. But that way they're positioned to go to this spot. They're always going to return to this spot over and over and over again. I could shake them into the permanent hive now, but I don't like to keep doing that. I'd rather them spend about 1 or 2 weeks inside the swarm trap, and they'll know to go to this spot, and then in 2 weeks I'll just take those frames out, put them in the permanent hive, and they're good to go. So one more time, just for fun, here's the before and here's the after. This is literally about 2 hours apart. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time guys, keep on enjoying beekeeping. We'll see you at the next one.